All right. All right. So it looks like we are now live. How's it going, YouTube? How's it going, Facebook, and everyone else this gets shared out to? My name is Jax Atlantis, and today on my show, I am having Master Knuta here. He's going to be talking a bit about what he does and some of the projects he's working on. Knuta, would you like to tell them all a little bit about yourself?
Yeah, sure. My name is Knuta. I'm 28, and I'm from Norway, which is why it's quite early here at the moment when it's PM in the west coast of
Right.
US.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah. How late is it over there?
it is 7 a.m. at the moment.
Yeah.
7:17.
What's your normal routine at 7 a.m.?
Fast asleep.
Fast asleep. Oh, okay.
Yeah, because I'm a night owl, so I usually sit up to 4 a.m. But this time I went to bed at 1 a.m., so I got some hours of sleep.
Well, that's awesome. That's awesome. So yeah,
Yeah.
what have you been working on recently? What are some of the projects that you've been working on?
Oh,
You
so
always have
much.
so many interesting things going on that you're building.
Yeah. I've tried to find my life purpose because it's like I've had a really hard time finding my life purpose on a physical way and not just spiritual.
Yeah.
So it's like I have all these crazy projects, always been crazy creative, and people are like, choose one, and I just can't seem to do it. It's like every time I do something, then I get a new opportunity, and it's like I'm not sure if it's the shiny object syndrome. I think I'm just made to do crazy shit, and
Yeah.
I think I'm just gonna inspire people by doing the impossible.
Yeah.
So, as an example, for a long time I wanted to make my own tarot cards, and now I got
Oh my God.
three different decks
Oh,
that
that's so cool. Do you want to show some of them to the camera really quick? I'd love to see those.
yeah. I'm not sure if it maybe reverse it, but let's see.
Oh, we got Leah here. We got Elisa, the Virgo. We got Norma. How's it going, everybody? I know, doesn't Knuta have the coolest accent? It is such
Thanks.
a cool accent. It's so subtle.
Let's see. Let's. So for the first deck I made, I wanted to have a love deck because I didn't believe there was any good love decks on the market.
Mm.
So this is called Text from Heaven, and it's literally text messages from the spirit guides.
Oh, that's so funny. Yeah,
So
that's awesome.
the first one is called, or the second one is called Twin Flame. It's real, enjoy. So I feel that I break lots of stereotypes when it comes to what is it called? When it comes to spirituality, because do I don't care about traditions, which
Right.
is kind of weird since I got so much Capricorn energy. And then I got a deck which is called Up in Uranus,
Yeah, let's see some.
and let's see. This one is called. So it's called 3x Love and Light, and then you meet my higher self.
That's beautiful. I like that.
So it's like I give you love and light 3 times, and then you got a problem.
Right.
Because when my higher self descends into my body, he's pissed off, and you are in deep trouble.
Yeah, so as far as your cards, so definitely as far as both of those cards, does this follow like a conventional tarot format or is this all oracle?
Oh, it's all Oracle. I
That's
want to
awesome.
make tarot cards in the future, but I need to come up with a genius idea. I have some I just need to refine it.
Yeah,
This
no,
one is quite cool. So this is primal masculinity cards. So
okay.
it's made from a male perspective, and this one is quite cool. It's a sign. Duh.
I like that. I like that.
Just a bunch of signs.
So
Because
that's
people,
interesting you said that though, the male perspective. Yeah, do you feel that most of the tarot cards that are made right now come from a feminine perspective?
oh yeah, totally.
Yeah. Yeah, what would you say is one of the things that would be beneficial about having more created from the masculine perspective as you see it?
That's interesting. I think it's that um a female energy is about receptivity. So it's like you rather want to have, or not rather, you want to have and. So you would add uh, momentum forward, creation, not creation because creation is female, but um, more ambitious, more
Mm.
business.
Yeah. How do you feel about like, did you ever study like the Tao philosophy? Like the concept that you can turn inaction into action. You can turn, basically like the water, you can flow around the rocks instead of through them, where it's almost like the Tao is a very feminine doctrine, but it teaches like a much different form of the masculine energy through the feminine doctrine. That's did you ever look into that, or is that some of what influenced this?
Um, I don't feel I have any major influences, but except myself, and
That's
that's
definitely an
probably
Aquarius thing to say.
yeah, an Aquarius thing.
That's
But let me try to explain the Aquarius
yeah,
thing because I think that Aquarius is misinterpreted
good. Yeah, let's
online.
talk about that.
So it's like let's take astrology as an example. Because I'm making my own astrology system, and people are not ready for this. Because astrology is sort of seen as a fixed system, and that goes against the Age of Aquarius because we
Mm.
want everybody to be connected. So instead of you saying that, oh, Chiron is the, uh, uh, or no, what's the common, oh yeah, double rulership. Like Mercury is ruling Virgo.
Right.
Are you fucking crazy? Mercury hates being in Virgo. Doesn't like it
Oh,
at
that's an
all.
interesting claim. I'd love to. Can you explain a little bit more? But I would love to hear about that. Yeah.
Yeah, because Virgos are all about having everything to be ordered, but Mercury doesn't like order. He likes information. He just
Interesting.
sends it out. He's throwing information at you, and you have to puzzle it together.
Yeah. To me, I've always looked at it as perfect in the sense that with Mercury, you have the philosophical side of Mercury, you have its more creative side over in Gemini,
Yeah,
and then you have Mercury as it's applied with Virgo, because Virgo loves systematic order and it loves the ability to be robotic. It loves the ability to basically stay consistent day after day after day after day. And to me,
yeah,
both of those energies are basically two sides of the same coin, just like with Taurus and Libra. I mean, you can totally see the sensual as well as the very physical accents of Venus with Taurus, and with
yeah,
Libra, you totally can see the contracts of marriage. You can see the romance. You can see how there's all things in the universe, are two sides of one coin,
yeah.
and
Totally.
and all of them have that. But you're saying that you believe Virgo is not ruled by Mercury.
I th- I think you can bend it to be,
Oh
but
wow. Okay.
it's
So do you
not.
have a planet that you propose rules Virgo, or do you feel like it's ruled
Yeah,
by an asteroid?
it's ruled by Chiron
Interesting.
because Virgo is trying to heal everybody but themselves, like Chiron does. And
That's wild.
Chiron, if you think about what's that called? How the chakra system.
Yeah.
So it's like root chakra is Mars, uh, Sacral is usually Venus. Then you have Mercury for the solar plexus, heart chakra. Um, what's that? Is that Moon?
Good.
I mean,
It depends on which correlation. I've seen there's the tree of life connection with astrology, and then there's the
yeah.
classic 7 chakra system connection with astrology.
I actually connected to no. This one is better. So Aries, root chakra, sacral, Taurus, Mercury. No, what's that called? Gemini, solar plexus, Cancer, heart chakra, Leo, throat chakra, and then you have Chiron or Virgo, third eye, Libra, divine knowledge in the crown, Scorpio, soul chakra, the dead people, Sagittarius, that would be stellar gateway, and the guru. Then you have Earth Star Chakra below you, which is Capricorn, grounding into the Earth. Aquarius, Universal Gateway. And then on top, you have Christ Consciousness with Pisces.
That's interesting. So your system is almost the exact opposite of what classic astrology uses, because
No,
normally
I believe
Aries is going to be going to rule the skull, and then Taurus the throat, and then
yeah,
Gemini the arms and
I
shoulders.
I believe it's like the physical body is downwards and the light body is upwards.
Interesting. Okay. Okay. Yeah. Well, I'm always open to new views. I love people's, different views on things. So was a lot of this channeled for you? This is something that is that you just sort of came to you?
Yeah, but it's also like it's logical. And that's kind of how I found spirituality as well, because I was an atheist. I left God when I was about 15 because I was like, you never helped me on my math test. Fuck you, God.
Right. Yeah.
So, yeah, I'm baptized and raised Christian. So I got a deep spiritual background, I guess. I was in Bible camps and band camp, Christian band camps.
Right. Yeah, no, I was raised very Christian as well, so I definitely had a lot of biblical background for the first 15 years of my life before moving into a completely spiritual energy and breaking free from all of it. It was, definitely very intense, and it's definitely it changes your views of spirituality and religion, because when you're sort of put through a very binary system of religion, then spirituality, sort of shows you all the different aspects to things.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it can be pretty crazy. It can be. So do you want to? So how did your religious background later turn into your spiritual journey, if you
Um,
call it that?
yeah, sure. So basically, I need to go a little bit personal. Let's see. So I was through bullying when I was little. Um, physical bullying for almost 10 years,
Mm.
and I used video games to escape. Not to escape. What is called? Not to. Um, how is that? Like I didn't try to escape my problems,
Right.
and I got addicted. Like I was playing 12 hours a day, but I wasn't addicted to the game. I was addicted to the freedom it gave me. So basically, in high school, I lived inside a video game, so I know where we're going for the next 10 years. I've been there.
Do you think that's something that's going to become a very big issue, like gaming addiction? Because like that's something that I've definitely heard before, but it's not something that I hear in the mainstream as any kind of problem, as far as,
No, but I think we will create a virtual reality worlds that we don't want to live.
And do you believe that there's part of the spiritual journey is a way to work alongside that instead of breaking away from it, or do you feel like this is something that we need to turn away from that?
Oh no, I think we definitely need to combine it. That's the Aquarian way. We need to combine everything. And I think that's like, if you look at, I'm jumping all over the place, but if you look at the age of Pisces,
Right.
it's two fishes swimming the opposite way. One is the one swimming towards God, and one is the one swimming towards technology. And kind of the key to life is to combine spirituality and science.
Yeah.
But
And what's something that you think that that's going to look like here in the next 10 years, as far as a prediction that you have about either medical science or general technology and spirituality?
I'm discussing with my spirit guides what I can say.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Let's see. Astrology will be mainstream. I'm actually in conversations with a guy teaching in school in UK to have my system be used in his classes to help people identify what they're gonna work with based on astrology.
Wow.
So that's coming. Let's see. What's coming more? Yeah, the whole you know how they say that what is it called? When artificial intelligence, we're gonna recreate every business.
That makes sense. Yeah, we'd be, because I've been saying a lot, essentially you're going to want to prepare for, in about 10 years from now, at most, to be either in the field of entertaining people, educating people,
Yeah,
entertaining or educating on the things that you love the most, or entrepreneurship and something
yeah,
you're really
totally.
passionate about. Because AI is essentially, I don't personally believe there will be cashier or truck driver or so many of these other jobs as an option. I don't think that's
Yeah,
going to exist in a very short amount of time. And economically, I don't think that we've prepared anything that seems to combat that sudden huge job loss. But I have a feeling that this is going to be, yeah, a lot of being online, a lot of being on, creating videos, whether it's
yeah,
collecting baseball cards or, a unique spiritual philosophy or the creation of some new system. Like, we're going to all want to find what we're passionate about and become an expert at it really fast and go ahead and get out there to some degree. Because if you're not in one of these three E's, the entrepreneurship, education, or entertainment, like, I don't know, just think about advances in medical science, the amount of things that if you
yeah,
can perform a surgery with a robot, it's like better to perform it with the robot, because the robot doesn't ever get shaky hands or emotional or tired
yeah,
or, of course in the initial phases it'll have tons of issues, but you kind of would want that. So there's a lot of like huge professions that I think are going to be replaced. There was this one estimate I had seen by 2036, what is it, 89% of jobs would be at home. I'll have to double check before I say those numbers, but I believe it was 2036.
yeah. I actually believe. Let's see. What do I believe? I believe 90% of jobs will be gone by 2026.
By 2026, yeah.
Yeah, I believe like this quarantine we're in right now is just the start of the apocalypse.
Of the apocalypse, interesting. So tell me about
Yeah.
what you think is coming in that degree.
So I'm jumping all over the place.
And is
Sorry about my.
2026 based on Saturn's movement through Pisces? Is that the connection
No,
that you're
actually
making?
not. It's
Okay.
based on Uranus entering Gemini,
Hmm.
because that's
Interesting.
gonna give us telepathy.
Right. Oh,
And
and
when
so
you
you're looking at the scientific connection between
yeah,
telepathy. Yeah.
and I read yesterday that people are um, connecting speech synthesis to neural pathways, so they can soon use artificial intelligence to read thoughts and minds.
Interesting. Interesting.
And I
Uh-oh.
know already that Facebook is planning for brain motion to control devices.
Interesting. That's crazy.
And that's logical, because with all this voice stuff people are doing, you can't really sit on the bus and say, "Hey Alexa, uh, take my mouse and drag it across." You need to be able to connect the brain and the
Right.
device to be able to have a good artificial interface.
What about someone like me who definitely would never want to get an implant of any kind and would fight it
Oh,
to the my dying breath?
you don't need implants. Facebook already have, and I think I got one. Let's see. I was an early bird. Let's see.
Are you talking about where it does eye capture? I thought you were saying brainwaves. I thought you were saying it was a connection between your brain and.
I got this bracelet, and if I have it on, it's not working at the moment because it's not charged.
Okay.
But if I do like this, I can control stuff on my PC.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So not though not the reading your thoughts to be able to see that.
No, it reads the impulses from the brain.
I see. Okay. Okay. But it's the movement of your arm that is
No,
creating the movement, right?
no,
It's the fact that your brain's communicating to your muscles in your
yeah,
arm that you're okay. Okay, so it's funny because it's kind of the same thing, but a little bit different. For me, there's a big metaphorical difference there between
yeah.
my brainwaves directly moving it versus my brain sending it to my muscle.
Oh
There's
yeah,
part of
yeah,
me,
totally.
and this, yeah,
Yeah, but
it's
that's totally just a language barrier or whatever.
right. No, for sure. It's but to me though, there is a difference in the intimacy. So the mechanics of the muscles, it feels like it's still my body still controlling
Yeah.
it. So I actually would feel totally comfortable using one of those. But for me, and
So
it's a purely emotional
to give you an
reason.
example, I
Yeah.
bought this in 2016 or something,
Okay. Yeah.
and now, in 2019, I found out that Facebook bought the company,
Oh God. Oh wow. So this is
so they're
yeah.
already on it.
This will be
But a
huge.
little bit back to what I was saying.
Mhm.
So I went through bullying, then I had a phase in computer games. But then I came to a third year of high school, and I um, finally came in an environment that didn't bully me,
Right.
and I quit in one day. And people were like, "How did you do that?" And it was like I had nothing to escape from anymore.
Interesting.
And that's how I believe addictions are. Figure out why you are like, why are you smoking weed if you're addicted to weed? Figure out what you're trying to escape, fix what you're trying to escape, not fix the weed problem.
Right. And so you
Uh,
wouldn't try and be in a bully-free environment. You instead yourself want to be prepared for what happens if bullies are in your life because you can't control where they're going to be.
Um, I'm not sure, to be
Well, I mean,
honest.
wouldn't that come off the same concept? So if instead of smoking the weed to escape the problem, you prepare yourself to face that problem for when it occurs, because eventually it will occur.
Oh no, it's more like you and Andrew Astral, I believe, talked about it. You want to fix the underlying wound.
Right. Oh, absolutely. Yeah. No. Exactly. Exactly. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
We might be saying that. We might be pointing in the same direction. Yeah. No. It's that's definitely that's pretty awesome. I myself have had a very similar thing happen with general anxiety, social anxiety, anxiety about communication, anxiety about judging what I was saying, yeah, altering my words, not saying certain things, basically using all of my natural Libra skills in a very bad way to keep myself in a comfort zone and out of any particular danger zone. And the last 3 or 4 years have just been intentionally, as much as possible, putting myself in all of these positions to be as vulnerable as possible, at risk for the most potential danger. And the irony is, people love and respect it so much. They just love people
Yeah.
who are authentic. They love when people just say whatever it is they want to say the way that they say it. And you assume that when you do that, okay, this is going to be when it comes in droves and it's going to be awful to be Armageddon. It's actually the most freeing, wonderful thing ever. People love it and people are inspired by it. And so it's interesting you had talked about, talking about inspiring people, living a life where the
Yeah,
way that you live it is an inspiration. I think there's definitely something really positive to that, because rather than, we all have, especially in our teenage years, have felt that urge to like change the world. Like we got to go out and change
yeah,
it. And it's like, no, we really just have the ability to change ourselves. But if you change yourself for real and you really step into those things, it does start altering the world around you, because you're a physical example that whatever the concept is, bravery, authenticity, whatever, that it's
yeah,
possible and that it can just be emulated by another person. I have people
yeah.
all the time who are like, "Oh, you're so, comfortable talking and stuff. I'm going to try that." And the thing is, like, they might not know I wasn't originally comfortable
Yeah,
doing any of the stuff that everything I do now is the epitome of what would have been the worst fear ever 5 years ago.
yeah.
So it's
Make sure to document that, so you always have movies and videos and pictures from your progress.
Oh yeah. Oh my God, it's so funny. I don't think I have access to it on this profile on my computer, but I could totally show you guys the very first live stream I ever did in comparison to now. It's so funny. It's so funny to watch because I was going for it. I was going for it and I had some good stuff in there, but God, I was so nervous and so
It's totally normal.
diplomatic. I was so hidden
Oh
in plain
yeah,
sight by it's not professionalism for real, but it's what felt to me like professionalism,
yeah,
and trying to be serious and very like, yeah, so today we're looking at this, blah blah blah. And the thing is, you don't have to do all of that. You just have to be yourself. People want to see you be yourself. We
yeah.
like it. We
It's
like it.
such a cliche though.
It's such a what?
Cliche,
Yeah, no, it is. It's a cliche, but it's true. It's like
because people are
basically
like,
every.
"Oh, you need to be yourself to attract the right girl."
It's true. It's 100%
Well,
true.
kind of.
I believe firmly true, because I think that men and women unanimously are deeply magnetically attracted to people who are just being themselves. And we all assume that it's this one type of person being themselves, but that's just not how it plays out in real life.
Yes, but if yourself is projecting shadows, then don't be yourself.
If okay, you touched on something. So what would be the problem? You said projecting shadows. What do you
Yeah,
mean
so
by projecting
I
shadows?
recently found out that my soul is a king archetype in the Jungian system or whatever.
Okay, okay.
So I have been lots of the weak child and the tyrant.
Mm.
So it's like I can either be really naive, really aggressive, or I can just be above it all and just be like, okay, you do you.
Yeah. So you're saying that being yourself would inherently for sure bring out either the naive or tyrannical part?
No. It's when you try to be who you think you are.
Okay. Yeah. So
When
there
you're
has to be the
not
removal of the
genuine.
trying. Yeah.
Yeah,
So you have to not try,
you have to
because
detach from who
that's the
you
thing
think you
too.
are. Yeah.
It's really tough when you go live and stuff, when you're out there in the public, it is so difficult to not, without even realizing it, become a cardboard cutout of yourself, because
Yeah.
there's certain routines. Like if you do, for me, I do daily tarot and daily astrology on High Vibe, and so I have to just every once in a while just reset my mind and be like, whoa, you are getting way stuck in this particular type of rut. My brain is my greatest gift, but it's also like the thing that can totally put me in danger, in the sense that it puts me in safe places. It'll put me in
Oh
complacency in
yeah.
the same routine. I can't be, I have to take my Aquarius rising and intentionally take my Libra self out of the places that are safe and diplomatic as much as
Oh,
possible. Otherwise, I'm
interesting.
in danger of becoming robotically me, a robotic
Yeah.
version of me, and so it's something that I have to be very conscientious of all the time. And it's
Yeah.
okay. It's okay. That's just part of my journey. That's part of the way I do things. I love to have fun. I love to, also get into really deep, weird spiritual subjects, but it's just what, brings me joy. And I've got to stay on that path and just understand all the things that are included in that path.
Yeah. Just curious, how long have we gone on?
Oh, we have been on for 29 minutes.
Oh, cool. Then
Yeah,
we still got time. Okay, so back
yeah.
to the story. S- So, exiting computer games, day one. Um, then I overheard my parents saying that I'm useless. I'm gonna live home till I'm 40,
Mm,
and I get filled with rage. Within a month, I moved away, and I moved across the country. And my Scorpio moon was like, "Fuck this place, bye bye."
right.
So what I initially was doing was that I sacrificed my whole life to start completely new.
Yeah.
And when I was starting new, I was sort of creating an avatar. So it was like, okay, Knuta was this, or my real name is Knut Andre. So Knut Andre was this weak boy that got bullied. So I
Mm,
was like, okay, this next Knuta is gonna be completely different. I'm gonna do it my way, and nobody can say anything against me because they don't know me. This is who I am. This is who I'm gonna be. So I recreated my own identity. So it was like, I started eating healthy. I started exercising. I started um, looking at. I never had a girlfriend previous when I moved out when I was 19. So I started looking at YouTube how to seduce women because that's what a Carissa does. So but this has helped me professionally as well because a couple of years later I have a girlfriend and we have a child coming.
oh, wow.
Yeah.
Congratulations. Oh my God, I
Oh,
didn't know that.
now I have a 6-year-old daughter.
What? Oh,
Yeah.
I didn't know that either. Oh my God. Well, congratulations, dude.
Thank you, thank you.
I'm so happy to hear that. Oh my gosh, what a miracle.
Yeah, yeah, but me and my ex are not on good terms.
Yeah.
So what I'm gonna say, um, yeah. So I got a child coming, and I'm like freaking out because I'm in college. So it's
Mm,
like how I'm gonna afford this, and I ended up taking a part-time job in uh, a what is it called, telephone company.
yeah.
So I worked in a call center for uh, 3 years, but the first year I was just I was terrified taking phone calls because my mom would have done it all my life. So I was like, "Oh, this is not me. I just want to help people. I don't want to sell to people." Because
Right.
they disguised the customer service as a second sales channel, and then they had to do some economics in within the infrastructure in the company, and they were like, "Oh, we're gonna use customer service as a main sales channel because people are calling us, and then we can convince them to buy something."
That's clever. That's
Yeah, but
that's sneaky. But
but
yeah, go.
keep in mind this is an 11-figure dollar company, so it's like
Oh,
Fortune
Jesus.
500.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, so they had like billions in the bank account.
Right.
To give you an example, we were 1,000 people on customer service in Norway with 5 million citizen, and uh, everyone had a salary of how much is that? Um, at least 30,000 a year.
30,000 in which currency?
In dollar.
Oh, in dollars. Oh, nice, nice. Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah. How strong
and
is the dollar over there, by the way?
oh, it has completely collapsed now.
Oh, snap.
We're in a financial crisis, and I believe it will be a global recession soon, which is the second step of the apocalypse.
Which, which we got to hear about. We got to hear about the
Yeah,
apocalypse. That's yeah. I
we
really want to
we're
hear
getting there,
about.
but we're
Okay.
getting there. But I'm
Okay.
connecting everything in
I'll be
every
patient.
story. So Yeah, so I hate selling and such. But then I was like, okay, I'm on a 6 month trial, and I need to prove for this company. And I can't tell them about my child because I don't know if they want to fire me for that. So I keep
Right.
quiet about the pregnancy until it's like 1 week before, and I'm like, hey guys, I'm having a child in 1 week. Can I get some time off? And they're like, no, you're on what is called part-time, so you can't have paid time off,
Right.
but you can take unpaid time off if you want to. So for the first, my ex was pissed off for that. I'm an Aquarius sun, she's a Leo sun,
Oh,
so
yeah.
yeah, so that's an interesting dynamic. And I believe she's double Cancer as well, so Cancer moon, Cancer rising, but I'm not quite sure about the rising.
Yeah.
And I'm Scorpio moon and Leo rising.
Interesting.
So I figured out, okay, I need to learn sales because I need to survive. So
Yeah.
I go online and look up this guy called Grant Cardone. He
That
got
sounds
some,
familiar. Is he one of those guys that's on YouTube and all over the
yeah,
place
yeah, yeah.
doing videos? Okay, I've heard of
Yeah,
him.
but he's legit. He's like a multi-millionaire, what is it called, real estate dude. But then he went from real estate to doing sales training
Mm.
because he's like, I'm gonna educate people to come work for me in the future. So now he's really rich, and his stuff works as fuck. It's like I started with I believe I have pictures as well. 8 sales in a week. Like that was low at that time. It's like if you on sales metric, it's like 1.8% hit. It's like 1.8% of all calls you have, you need a sale. And that's kind of crap stuff. But after taking his stuff, I went to some weeks with 20 sales.
Hmm.
And then I got promoted to team captain on my team. And then in 2014, I was just attending work to give my sick leave because I was sick. And my boss came and he said like, hey, you're nominated to Employee of the Year 2014. And I'm like, what? I just want to help people.
Yeah.
I don't really care about money, which is weird because I do sales. So I won Employee of the Year 2014 among 300 other employees, which was really interesting. And I kind of knew that I could win, so I prepared a speech. And afterwards, all the leaders in the company was kissing my ass, of course. And they're like, hey, you should be a public speaker, motivational speaker. And I'm like, that's actually cool. So I think that's where I'm going after, as this spiritual path is going. That
Yeah.
is gonna be the Saturnian thingy when, I guess, when Pluto enters Aquarius, maybe. But because Pluto is about transformation into air. Air is speaking information or
That
whatever.
makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah. So what happened then? Yeah. And then next year is coming, and people are like, "Oh, you're gonna compete for Salesman of the Year," because I saw this guy getting 2,500 sales in a year, and I was like, "Whoa!" I had 300 in a year or something,
Right.
and he was at 2005, and I was like, "How is he doing it?" And I figured out he got a full-time employee, so he was working 50% more than me. But I was starting to reach out to other people in the company, like all the big salesmen, like, hey, what are you doing if this happened? Can you teach me, what do you do in this scenario? How do you do this? How do you do
Right.
this? So I was getting all these sales tips, And people were like, "No, are you gonna compete?" And I'm like, "Nah, I'm just taking it chill." But my Scorpion Moon was secretly crafting this big ass marketing strategic military plan. So that summer I won 2 summer competitions with 1,000 people, sales competition. So I won some gift cards and such. I was in a car accident. My car got completely wrecked, which gave me PTSD. So that was not fun. I had to start walking around, take buses, and all that shit. And by August 2016, no, August 2015, then I had, how much sales did I have? I had 1,600 sales.
Mm-hmm.
So keep in mind, I had 300 for whole of
Yeah.
2014. So people were like whispering when they passed me through the call center because that's Knuta.
Right.
And the leaders were really looking at my shit and they're like, "How does he do it? We don't understand this shit." And I got together with one higher female boss on a relationship level. She was a Sag sun, so I have a thing for fire signs apparently. But I'm getting burned all the time, so I'm kind of weird with that. And then I won super salesman with retention of 120% or something in October 2015. And I got offered promotion to 100%. And since my economy with a child in my life at that time and child support, I had to take it. So I had to drop out of college, which is kind of weird. Have to drop out of college because you got a promotion at work.
Right.
So it's kind of opposite of other people. And that December, I had a fire in my apartment. Keep in mind, it's the same year.
Oh, wow.
And 1 week before Christmas, because I was living with my new girlfriend at a higher level, boss level, she kicked me out. So second Christmas day or something, I started putting a gas mask on and cleaning my apartment because it was full of fire extinguisher, and the fire apartment said that you can't live there for a month unless you clean really well. And I even took taxis to work, and like I was really pushing work and my personal life at the same time. And in essential, I won Salesman of the Year with 5,311 sales. And the second place had 4,200 or something. So I was 1,000 sales above him. And keep in mind, this is not easy sales. It's like you are committing for 12 months a price plan on a mobile phone or internet. So I had 5,311 new customers.
That's good.
So yeah, so sales is my thing. But then South Node enters Aquarius, I believe. And I get disqualified for oversleeping.
That's crazy.
Yeah, so my respect for the admin went downhill because Leo Rising, if I don't get the recognition I deserve, bye-bye. So I ended up getting fired because I was sloppy in my work and I had no inspiration. But my NDA is gone out, so I can say this about this company. This company is cool, but in Norway, it's really hard to fire someone because you need Yeah, because you need to put them to training 2 times, and then you need to prove that the training didn't do any work. So it can take almost
Oh,
two
wow.
years
Here we're
to.
at will. You can just tell people to get lost whenever.
Yeah, you need. I think you need at least 2 years to get someone fired. But then that's why this company is using psychological terror to get people to quit.
What
But
company is that?
it's Telenor. It's quite big company.
Telenor. Okay, I'll stay away from them. Yeah.
No, it's a
Sounds
good. No, it's a good company, but
if they're using
they're
psychological terror, then I'm
yeah,
definitely anti-Telenor unless I find out otherwise.
yeah. I know, but I can. Yeah,
I can't tell if you're being forgiving of them or or if their tactics are just really strong or something. Yeah, that's
oh
awful if they're
no,
doing that.
no. It's like when I work there, I can easily tattoo their logo. Like I love the company, but as you start to not satisfy the numbers,
Mm,
they start going hard on you. So they sent me to a company psychiatrist saying that, oh, you got a problem, you got to fix it. So they convinced me I had an issue. So I was like, oh, I must have an issue because they say it and I can't see it myself.
I see.
So, anyways, I got fired. And then I started in a company selling Google services on commission, I mean, and that didn't work. Um, the company went officially bankruptcy within 2 months, and suddenly I found myself unemployed on Norwegian welfare system,
Mm,
and I already hate the welfare system because it's the same system that does child support. So I already had problems with them, and I got into a really toxic relationship that totally broke me, like mentally. Because all my life I've been like, oh, I want to attract some girl I can help.
mm,
The knight in shining armor
yeah.
syndrome or whatever.
Captain Savo. Yeah,
Yeah,
heard of that.
and then I attracted a girl that broke me, and I was like, oh no, I'm never doing this again.
Right.
Like she had suicidal thoughts. I had to sleep at the same time at her so she didn't go commit suicide. Like it was heavy, and I find myself using astrology to get through it with horoscopes every day. And the way I was confirming it for myself because I knew there was some logic behind it, but it's like how am I gonna put it? I didn't understand the logic. I just said to myself, "Oh, there must be some logic in spirituality that science hasn't gotten to yet."
Right.
So let me try to get to it before them.
Right.
So basically, I used a horoscope app on my phone. It was super detailed with everything, but I think I calculated my rising wrong or something. But it was super detailed, and the way I tried to not get the what is called the Barnum syndrome or whatever, like um, how if you believe something works, your
Oh, right,
mind
right, right.
makes it work.
Yeah.
So the way I was doing it was that I check my horoscopes at the end of the day and
Oh, that's
could
awesome.
then
I do that too, actually. Yeah.
yeah
I
and could
just do
then
that
see
more
back.
so just because, but yeah, I always love doing that. I even sometimes I'll occasionally have someone reach out to me and they'll be like, "Hey, I really loved your horoscope for today when you were talking about the astrology." And I'll go look at it and I'm like, "Oh, damn, I nailed it today. Yeah, that's exactly what happened to me. Good
Yeah,
job, me." But
yeah, and
yeah,
it
I know
was
what you mean. I know what you mean. It's like,
really accurate. It was like um I was checking my horoscope one day and I was like, hey, you should take a vacation, and I find myself in the family cabin in Sweden.
oh yeah.
So it
That's
was
awesome.
super accurate, and it was accurate for over a year. So I was like, okay, this is not coincidence. It needs to be some logic behind this. And I basically went into the shithole of the internet. I'm gonna give you. Do I want to do this to you, Menti? Let's see. I'm gonna give you a Facebook group,
Okay.
but you are visiting that Facebook group on your own safety.
What kind of group is this?
It's basically a group of 40,000 internet trolls.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
So some people might not want to go to that group. I mean, some people might want to. Some people might want to.
Yeah, if you're really sensitive, just stay away. Stay away. It's like everybody there is waiting for a apocalypse because they are super smart. Like they have IQs of 200 plus and such. So they are just sitting in the mom's basement saying like, look at history. We of course gonna kill ourselves in World War III. We're just waiting for it. I'm gonna just game until I hear the bombs. And I'm gonna give you an example. This is a riddle, and there's multiple of answers. And the the way you think about it is genius, but you won't think about it. I think maybe you will, but let's see. So this is the riddle, and everybody in the comments can join as well, and in the chat. Imagine yourself being kidnapped into a room. How do you get out?
You're being kidnapped into a room.
Yeah.
How do you get out?
I'm gonna give you like 20 different solutions.
So it's a riddle where you're trying to figure out how you got kidnapped into a room. It's the wording that's a little bit weird for me.
Yeah.
So you're getting kidnapped and then brought into a room?
Whatever you think.
Okay.
I'm
No,
I'm not
it might
gonna
make a
give you
difference.
any
It might
more.
make a difference. I was curious if I got kidnapped in a room and was to stay there, or if I was kidnapped, brought to a different room. And the way I'd get out of these two places might be different. Okay. So I'm kidnapped, I'm brought into a room. I'd probably walk out the door.
Yeah, that's one genius.
Oh.
And one other was I just stop imagine. Because you
Oh,
imagine getting there, and
that's clever.
some
That's
was
clever.
like,
Imagine you're getting kidnapped. What would you do to get
yeah,
out?
and
Stop
some was
imagining.
like,
That's
some was like, I'm getting abducted by aliens. There's no roof, I'm just climbing up. There's no walls, I'm just going up.
yeah.
The room is in my imagination, close to a key, and I use the key. I imagine a key. I like it's just a creativity test, and it was like hundreds of answers, and I was like, how is this possible? Because it was so high type of intelligence. I think that's what we need when we're going forward. Um, and basically with science, I think science is badly portrayed in the spiritual community,
Hmm.
because it's like science is the evil. Yeah, sure, it's an artificial religion, because they were like, oh, people trust God, we want them to trust us themselves. Let's
Yeah.
remove God and make a religion, science. But to me, science is actually art, and true science isn't physics. I don't believe in physics actually, which
You don't
is
believe in physics? Okay.
yeah,
Yeah, I would love to hear about that.
yeah, because it's like, or I don't believe in human physics.
As in, so wait, you don't believe that humans yet fully understand how
Yeah,
physics really work?
yeah.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
So
Yeah.
so it's like people are trying to get to spirituality by using science,
Right.
which is a logical fallacy,
For sure.
because spirituality needs to be something different than science.
Does it?
Well, sort of, based on physics.
For instance, a matter of exploration, scientists, will just say they sent a rocket out into space and they find these glowing particles that end up being the particles of God or whatever. So that, for
Oh
instance,
yeah,
would
totally.
not mean that it in any way, the psychic gift is something that science might invent a new way of viewing certain types of waves, and then boom, it's now confirmed. And so everything that's within spirituality might be something that science can absolutely see. To me, I certainly believe that it is. I think that the synthesis of science and spirituality brought on by the age of Aquarius is really just true awareness, seeing what really
Yeah.
is, and that it's all exactly the same. Because
No,
I love
no,
what you said. Science is art. Science is art. Science is
yeah,
creation. And we're taking materials, we're taking the canvas, we're taking the paint, and we're creating something new. And
yeah.
we're,
But
that's
that's the problem with human science,
right.
because human science is fixed, like astrology.
What about inventions? Because astrology
Um,
changes all the time. I know so many modern
yeah,
astrologers who don't, because I mean, I agree. There are some people who are out there and they are hardcore. This is, Western or sidereal, that this is the only way. But most astrologers that I talk to that have followings and that are out there and that have, audiences and stuff, most of them are all pretty, understand that there's a convergence that happens in the center. Like,
yeah. But I still have rules. Like, say if I was to remove your sun sign, would you be fine with it?
I I wouldn't be, if you were to remove it, as in if you were to read my chart without including my sun sign.
No, I'm just saying that sun sign isn't a thing anymore.
I don't think so. The sun's representative of the soul, so I think that, it's definitely an important part. I
Yeah,
don't
but
consider
that's
that a rule so much as a description.
yeah, but that's based on your belief, and
That's
your
based on my
belief.
feeling for me. Like, I mean, it's something that I was educated on, but I felt long before that. I think the sun and the moon has come up so many times throughout
Yeah.
human history, where societies have repeatedly always put sun in that same
Yeah.
position. We've always represented it as that type of god.
Okay,
And then,
let me rephrase it. Okay, so what you believe becomes your reality, right?
to a degree, in a way, yeah.
Okay, but by saying that sun sign is a thing, you are eliminating that it cannot be a thing.
I mean, I believe it is a thing because I see the sun and I see myself, and I feel my soul and I feel the sun. I
Yeah,
feel
but can you trust that you see the sun and not some alien light bulb?
at this time I am trusting that. Yes,
Nah,
yes,
I'm just messing
100%.
with you,
I'm
but
fully
yeah,
trusting
but
that.
I'm just messing with you. But
Right, right.
to give you an example, um, oh yeah, people are trying to create the future by using the past. Does that make more sense?
I think there's the synthesis of the past with the present to create a good future, because we have to be able
Yeah,
to look at
totally.
what
You
happened
need
in the
to use
past.
it as a foundation. But like, I'm trying to word this so hard. It to me, it's logical, so it's so hard to put it in
the,
words.
the thing is,
Um,
I think dogmatic energy is always a problem no matter what, whether it's connected to
yeah.
astrology or whatever. When I hear you say, though, that it's like that astrology is very fixed in place, there's, to me, every astrologer I know, they all go towards a particular type of thing that they specialize in, or an energy that they love to talk about. They love to
Oh,
look at certain
yeah,
things.
yeah, yeah. But
So
like, uh, if you think about common beliefs, like uh, Venus is the ruler of Taurus.
okay.
That's sort of fixed
I mean,
in a
that
belief
that is
system.
taught. That's taught, so you could absolutely say that that's a fixed, like, belief in
Yeah,
astrology.
but why is that?
To me, because it's the other half of Venus. If you look at the romantic side of Venus, then what has to be the other side? What has to be the other side is the physical side of Venus. When Libra deals with the conceptual side of Venus, that's not a full person. I think of all the planets and all of the signs and all of the energies and all of the different transits like people. And I think of them that way because then it makes sense to me. Because if you
Yeah,
think, we talked about
totally.
Mercury earlier, but Venus, if Venus is a person, she's not
Yeah,
a pure romantic being. She is also a side
totally
that
agree.
has to look at the pragmatism, has to look at the quality of her surroundings. She can't just look at the romance, she has to feel the sensuality. And so with Taurus
Totally
and
agree.
Venus, or Taurus and Libra, they're a perfect couple together in that sense.
I disagree, because if you look at like Libra is Venus ruler, so the shadow of Venus should be Aries, because it's the perfect twin flame
The
couple.
opposite of Venus is Aries, is Mars.
Yeah, but
It's
if
perfect,
you
the
if you
feminine
think
versus
that
the masculine.
every planet has a shadow side, right?
I
So
don't understand how that doesn't work. It's like it's perfect because if you look at the feminine in excess over in Libra versus the Mars masculine in excess over in Aries, we can very clearly identify what the really positive traits would be, as well as what
yeah,
if anything is in extreme, it's dangerous no matter what.
yeah, totally. But what I'm saying is that Libras have Venusian energy,
Okay,
right?
yeah.
So then the shadow of Venusian energy is Aries energy.
That's an interesting way to put it like that, because then that suggests that Mars in itself is inherently the shadow, that Mars in itself is bad. But the thing is,
No,
if
no,
I'm in
no,
Aries,
not
yeah.
necessarily. It's more like you have to integrate it.
To me, there's you could, if we put it in the very popular term right now, toxic. You'd have Venus energy and you'd have toxic Venus energy. Venus energy would be genuine romance that comes from a genuine place.
Yeah, toxic
Toxic Venus
energy is
energy
this
would be
feminism shit.
manip well, I was going to say manipulation, using romance, the pretending to have romance where you don't, creating contracts with the intention of manipulation,
Yeah.
which wouldn't be Mars. So
No, I agree.
yeah. So for me though, we go across the board to Mars. We say, okay, so there's assertiveness, which is positive.
Yeah.
The reason, for instance, in astrology earlier, we were talking about the body. You were saying Aries being the root, and
Yep.
with classic astrology, Aries is the head, which makes sense because it's the spark of consciousness that begins the zodiac, that
Yeah.
separates the animal to the man, to the mankind. And so that's how but you go on about the shadow side. So you're saying
Yeah. So
Venus.
it's like
So what's the problem with Venus being connected to Taurus? That's the thing that I'm interested in.
because I don't believe in dual rulerships.
Interesting. Okay. And so
So for me, Taurus is ruled by Gaia, actually,
interesting.
which
So
is
so
why
like yeah.
Uranus is fucking up the Earth right now.
Okay. So that's interesting. Okay. So I've heard Taurus being connected to Gaia before. I've also actually heard, though, you had another theory about how Chiron is the ruler of Virgo, not Mercury. I've
Yeah.
also heard Chiron being potentially the ruler for Taurus as well, positioned by some other people. For me, Venus, I mean, I have a Taurus older sister, and Venus has always like totally hit the nail on the head. Like it's all about the physical things. It's all about like the positivity of the physical surroundings. The If you look at, I mean, one of the biggest things of all, Venus's connection with spirituality through Taurus. Like every time you'll see crystals all over, the candles, the ribbons,
But
all the things, all the physical things. Like, and it makes total sense because it's a type of love. It's a type, it's part of the tribal energy of love. Where you see Cancer as homestead. Taurus to me is always like the tribe.
yeah, I understand that, but at the same time, that is based on your association.
If I had just learned it in a book, then I think I'd be able to agree with that. But to me, it's like I channel astrology, like I feel it, and the feeling of the connection
Okay.
between Venus and Taurus. For like, and that's just to the point where we might both have
Yeah,
different
I
feelings. That's
don't.
part of the spectrum. That's
Yeah,
part of
I'm open
that's
for everything.
Yeah, I'm interested to hear that. If there's no dual rulerships, what do you feel about Mars's connection to Scorpio? Because Scorpio being ruled by Pluto, but of course having the secondary of
Oh,
Mars.
Since Mars is actually Aries in, or not now, what is called Ares in Greek mythology,
Hmm.
I believe. So he's the fighting, what is called, the war god. I don't believe he likes to be in Scorpio at all, because it's like it's actually what is happening right now. When you take an extrovert and put him into his home, it's basically Aries energy trapped in Scorpio. You force him to look into himself.
See, I guess for me, I see it as Mars energy that would be in Scorpio in this particular case, even though Mars just moved into Aquarius. But
Yeah,
you're
yeah, yeah.
saying Mars doesn't like to be in Scorpio because
No, I don't think
Mars
he like.
originally was the ruler of Scorpio before they discovered Pluto.
Yeah, I know, but I don't believe. Like, I don't feel like if you look at the hero's journey. Do you know that one?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. So all of the phases you can correlate them to both the astrology houses and zodiac signs. So you have the hero starting a journey, Aries. You have hero getting a call from the Earth Mother, Taurus. You have the hero. What is he's meeting a guide in Gemini. Then he does some trials for the guide in Cancer. Leo, he starts to speak up. Virgo, he meets his first obstacles, enemies. Libra, he goes back to make ready for the transformation. Scorpio is the transformation. Sagittarius is kind of the lesson you learn. Capricorn is the big battle. Aquarius is the rebirth. And Pisces is the reward. So every story is built up like that. So if you think of Aries or the war god in the transformation phase, I feel that he's locked up. He's like, I need to figure out this now. I hate my life. I'm gonna craft the strategy. Yeah, sure, it's positive and it's forward moving, but it's like, oh, I can't get through this because I haven't learned my lesson yet. I haven't got to Sagittarius.
Maybe you can consider it positive because you know that trip to the underworld's inevitable.
Oh yeah,
Like
totally. I don't
maybe
believe it negative at all. I
Oh, okay.
I don't believe just Mars don't like to be in Scorpio.
That's interesting. That's interesting. Well, so you've got a bunch of views that are much different than, what people
Oh
conventionally look
yeah,
at.
and and my new astrology system is built all up about it. So I can't wait for the world to
Well,
explode
so
right now.
and that's the important point. So people need to be able to see because they've heard, for instance, you don't believe in the dual rulership.
Yeah.
You don't believe in that, and you have some unconventional views as far as what planets like to be where as well. For me, when I feel like Mars and Scorpio, it just like it feels right. It feels like it's working. But you feel that this is a place of negativity. So as far as what you
Not
do believe,
negativity, but it's more like it's not as free, if that makes sense. It's focused, it's fixed, and it can't be carnal like it likes to be.
right? So as far as what you do believe, and as far as like your system of astrology, where can people find this? Because we're actually a little bit over time. It's
Oh,
fine, but yeah,
yeah.
where can people find all of your stuff, like all this really interesting stuff you've been working on?
The thing is, they can't find it yet. But if you go to astralempire.com, then you can try to keep up with my knowledge. And
Astralempire.com.
yeah,
Okay, I'll post that in the chat.
yeah.
Astralempire.com. And is this where they can get those tarot cards from you as well?
Yeah.
Awesome. Awesome. Well,
Yeah.
Knuta,
Um,
it has been.
just to sum up a little bit,
Oh yeah.
because I went completely on a tangent. I didn't attend to go there at all. Basically, what I'm doing is that I'm a salesman, a businessman that has entered spirituality to make it a profitable business. I believe spirituality is the biggest industry in the world, $1 trillion industry by 2030.
Right.
And it's gonna be in every because people are like, oh, but we're gonna sell tarot. No, it's gonna be like every industry gonna add spirituality. So we're gonna be the consultants consulting the old world, the Pisces world.
Interesting. So
So
that's
uh, and now as I'm going into spirituality from a business perspective, I'm teaching both sales, teaching people how to make light work profitable, which has kind of been hard for people in the physical realm to see, because they are like trying to get me into a job, but I'm more uh, helping other people get jobs.
right.
So it's like I'm doing a little bit of everything, because I'm tasting everything, and my Scorpio moon see through people's soul potential, so I can instantly pick up what people should do. And spirituality is logical. Um, Sales, psychology, and magic is the future. Age of Aquarius is yeah, become the hero of your life. That's my main philosophy.
I love that. Become the hero of your life. That's a perfect place to end off on. Well, Knuta, it has been so awesome having you on today, dude. This was a very interesting conversation that went a lot, just like you said right before we went live. It went into a
Yeah,
lot of places I did not expect, and and like there's a lot to think about here. But
yeah,
thank you so much for being on today, dude. I can't wait to have you on again some other time. Everybody, go check out Astral Empire. Make sure to check out Knuta on Facebook, and anywhere else that you're found as well. So.
yeah.
You
And
as
very
well.
soon I'm gonna have my own social media, because we're gonna bypass the evil censorship, and then I'm gonna have Jax promote the shit out of it.
Well, that sounds very awesome. Yep, keep an eye out for that, you guys. Have an awesome night. See ya.